I was asked if I would say something as well, and I think I will. I do think that this looks like a pretty good moment for cycling. There are a number of encouraging signs. There's been a huge interest in cycling this year, from the Olympics, from the Paralympics, from the Tour de France, where Monsieur Wiggins won, as you know, and from the Tour of Britain. Before all of that, there was National Bike Week, a long-standing engagement in the cycling diary, and yet this year, very, very close to 500,000 people signed up for National Bike Week. So it wasn't just watching, it is participating as well. And I think there have been some very encouraging movements too. Movements like the extremely important debate that the All-Party Parliamentary Cycling Group instituted in Westminster Hall, an extraordinary turnout of 73 or 4 MPs from all parties to speak in an extraordinarily unanimous debate in support of cycling. There's been the Times campaign for cities fit for cycling, and I know that they are planning to do much more about that before the year is through. And then we had Love London, Go Dutch. At first I thought that what it meant, being an Englishman, was couldn't we have some cycling on the cheap? But I am told that's not the case at all. In fact, it is quite the reverse, that we would like to emulate exactly what the Netherlands has done. If only we could have something that begins to look like what goes on in many a Dutch city. And that was extraordinary. On a filthy wet night, 10,000 people got on their bikes to support the campaign. 40,000 people signed up to 3 key pledges, and all the mayoral candidates said they would sign and did sign. And that must be quite a remarkable achievement. And I think that some of this is reflected in other parts of the country as well. And as you know, the Dutch Embassy is kindly the patron of this event, not only here in London, but a couple of days ago in Bristol, and to come in Manchester, and also in Edinburgh. An enormous sense of momentum. And yet, it seems to me that there is a sense in which we have gone on talking about this for a very long time. And in truth, not a great deal has happened. I know cycling trips in London have doubled. It's phenomenal. It is fantastic. It is amazing. But we're still looking at under 5% of trips by bike in London by 2020 something. It's not much of an ambition. Every so often, a new minister comes along, or a new initiative comes up, and there's much talk of another new initiative. But actually what we need probably isn't too much more talk. It's probably about getting some things done. Because this is not a quick fix. And as the ambassador said, they started only 40 years ago in a very different environment from today. And this is not going to be a quick fix, however committed we are. So what it really needs, in my view, is it really needs absolutely clear political will. Not just great statements from ministers about how much they've managed to spend this year, or find in another budget to support cycling to stations. Very good, excellent. No consistency, no coherence, no sense of a long-term integrated transport strategy. And that requires leadership. And that leadership needs to come outside the party political environment. It needs to come from people recognising that cycling is not a party political issue at all. And that the stop-start that we have at every general election, when the new party come in and say, no, 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 we won't do what we did then, we'll do something different. Takes a year and a half to do that and come up with a new name for getting more people cycling. And this, in my view, is really what is holding us up. There's no sense in which this is part of a long-term, coherent strategy for cycling in the UK. And with real political will, cross-party, with real leadership right from the very top, and with consistent and coherent funding, and with a recognition that we're in this for the very long term, truly we could emulate the Netherlands. But we have a long way to go. In my view, between us, the Netherlands, other European countries, we probably know what to do. We probably know, more or less, how to do it. We know why we want to do it, and everybody agrees with that. The Department of Health agrees with that. The Department of Education agrees with that. And we know how much it costs, and we know very well the economic case for cycling that it pays back. And here we are today, and we have 1.5% of trips by bicycle. Now is the time when we actually have to turn this sort of assembly not into a talking shop, but into something which really does push government, the opposition, the coalition, into a really determined long-term strategy for cycling. Thank you very much.